Good morning and welcome to Scoutcast. I am your host, Ray Hoffman, and today we're going to talk about SEO and how to rank and stay relevant. SEO is an ever-changing thing, so by the time this comes out, Google probably put out a new update, or Yahoo, or whatever you use to do your searches. However, this is a general guideline, so SEO is very important for search rankings. Why? Why is it important? 75% of people don't go past page one. So to get your business relevant, you have to be on page one of search rankings. I have been part of groups that never even shows up on page 10. Part of groups that are past that. So it's very important that you get on page one. And the difference could be dozens of leads. Once I was with a company that was showing up on page 12. I got them up to page one within a couple of months. After those couple of months, we went from having plenty of time and not needing to hire more people to not having enough time, having too many leads, and having to hire additional techs. So it's very, very important to get you on page one. 68% of online experiences begin with the search engine. I argue that number. I think that number is a little bit higher. I don't know when the last time I actually looked at anything online without going to Google or using my Apple device and searching off of that. And then it giving me rankings based off of the name or what I'm looking for. So I probably would expect that number to be higher right now. However, that's the statistic that is out there. So SEO strategies you can't ignore. Focus on EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Google ranks credible and trustworthy content higher. Build backlinks and showcase industry expertise. This is done with blogs. This is done with tagging your blogs, where you get your information from, them backlinking to you, setting up backlinks with your local organizations. I am part of the Metropolitan Builders Association, so I have a backlink from them to my website, announcing me as a member, and then it has my website there. So stuff like that. You can pay a company or use AI to create backlinks, and it's fairly easy to do. As a small business owner, it is much easier for you to take the time to write the check every month than actually go into a system and try to create the backlinks yourself. It's just not cost effective. As a business owner and a small business owner, you are more effective doing the day-to-day stuff than spending all that time creating backlinks. It could take hours. It could take years. It's something you have to constantly be doing. I'm not saying that you have to spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on backlinks. What I am saying is you need to dedicate, if you want to create a lot of backlinks and get yourself ranked, you have to at least spend an hour a day, 5 days a week at the beginning until you get enough backlinks where you're showing up on page one. SEO is a everyday project, every day. It's not something you just set and forget about it for a year. It's every day. It comes into play with a lot of different things. All of your digital assets, things like Google Business, Facebook, everything linking back to your website, right down to the address being exact, the phone number being exact. You have all those different numbers, different addresses, different locations, and you actually rank lower because you don't have that authority and trust based off of Google or Safari or whatever website or whatever search engine you're using. The experience and the expertise, that shows up in blogs. That shows up in your website. It shows up in your history page, how long you've been doing it, stuff like that. And by using that, Google, Safari, Yahoo, all the different search engines that are out there will utilize that information to rank you. You must optimize for voice search now. People search differently for voice. The last time you went in and said, "Hey Siri," and my phone just went off because I said it, "Find me a local plumber." It finds me a local plumber. It finds me 123 right away. Now, type in, "Hey Siri, find me the best local plumber near me." And now it's coming up again because I'm saying that word. And it's showing one of the three that it first showed me. So they are properly SEO'd. The other two are SEO'd for Google search. So use long tail keywords and conversational phrases. Don't just use plumber, local, near, me. Don't use single words. The days of that is over. You have to use how you would say it, especially for voice search. It's not something that you can just use a single word. You have to go in there and say, and think about, how would I say this into my phone? How would a customer say this to my phone? How would anybody say this to my phone? Mobile first indexing. 70% of searches happen on mobile. Again, another thing I might argue a little bit. I think that number is a little bit higher. You have to make sure your site loads in 3 seconds or less. Anything more than 3 seconds, it's going to decrease your SEO. And there's a lot of things depending on what website builder you're using. There's a lot of things you can do to get your web pages faster, getting them load faster, getting the pictures loaded faster. The biggest thing that holds things up is the use of videos. Videos take a lot of time, but they are very important. The last ad I saw is people watch videos 92% faster than they look at pictures. So it's very important to have them, but use some kind of shrinking tool that is that you can use through your web builder company. So here's 3 quick SEO improvements that you can make today. And I suggest you make this today. Page titles and meta descriptions. Look at Google. Type in, what is the current page title length? What is the current meta description length? Most of your website builders will make recommendations using AI. Utilize those tools and take them to your advantage. This is something that can be done today. As long as you have the admin password on your website, you can make those changes. Add internal links to boost page authority. If you reference the Metropolitan Builders Association, which is what I'm a member of, then link them. Link the Metropolitan Builders Association in your blog. If you reference the National Plumbers Association, I don't even know if there is such a thing, but link that association. If you reference that you were at the home building and remodeling show, link that. Make sure you link everything you possibly can of where you get your expertise, your experience, and your authority from. Those links will come back in a backlink to you. And that is a huge part of your quick SEO wins. Regularly post SEO optimized blog content. And this is something I have to do myself. SEO blog content could take some time. AI has sped that up. If you look at one of my previous podcasts, you will see that I showed you, or I talked to you about how to use AI to create blogs. So make sure you use the AI tools to create those optimized blog contents. And you can even ask it for reference links on where they got their information. If you are doing something on, you're an automotive technician, you're writing a blog on a proper alternator, you can put in there saying that I got this alternator information from Napa. I got the specs from Dura. I can't even think of a name of a company right now, but that you got the specs from Dura, whatever. So make sure you use that and use those backlinks. They'll appreciate it. You appreciate it. Even small changes can dramatically boost rankings. Small changes, they take a day or two because Google is going to take some time to index them. However, it can make dramatic changes just by changing a few words, changing up your keywords, changing up your meta titles, changing up your meta descriptions. All of this can make a big difference. So, as always, I like to give calls to action. And today's not going to be any different. So, key takeaways. SEO drives long-term website traffic and leads. Optimize for voice search, mobile, and Google EEAT. Start with quick wins like better titles and internal links. So here's an action step for you. Use Google Search Console to find your top performing pages and optimize them for better SEO. You can go into Google Search Console. It'll tell you what pages are being used the most, which pages are being found the most. Optimize those pages first. Put the other ones on the back burner when you have time to go in and do them. However, here's the trick to this. And here's what good web companies are doing. They're looking at Google Search Console probably daily. At least the company I worked at, that was a advertising company, we looked at the Search Console daily to make changes. You have to look at it as a small business owner, let's say weekly. Just look at it real quick. It takes 5 minutes. And decide what pages are ranking and figure out what changes need to be made to make that rank better. So that is it. That's it for today. I apologize. I was actually a couple weeks from the last one. However, please subscribe and connect. Follow me at Scout Consulting WI on Facebook, scoutconsultingwi.com. Please feel free to email, ask me your questions, ask me whatever you have to ask me, and then maybe I'll turn it into a podcast. Until next time, thank you very much for listening, and have a great day from the Scoutcast.